Welcome to the Electric Playground. Today on the show, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men join forces in the rundown.
Plus, Jose takes a closer look at some of the coolest, newest ID and Xbox games.
And then we go rogue with a review of the latest Mission Impossible movie.
You have your seatbelt on? You asking me that now?
Also coming up, we construct a review of the Lego Mentary. Marissa takes a look at an Adventure Time card game, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. It's Friday, and if you're looking for the perfect thing to kick the weekend off right, I've got just the thing for you. It's called The Rundown. Two of the world's most famous groups of superheroes might be joining forces on the big screen. Speaking with Yahoo Movies, X-Men movie director Bryan Singer revealed that Fox is planning to make an X-Men and Fantastic Four crossover film. This would presumably combine the one and only X-Men movie universe with the new Fantastic Four movie, which will hit theaters next week. Both franchises are owned by Marvel, but Fox holds the exclusive big screen rights and probably won't give them up anytime soon, so don't expect any Avengers to show up. The canceled game Silent Hills might rise from the dead in another form. Earlier this year, Konami officially canceled the new game, which was announced last summer in the form of a terrifying playable teaser called PT. The game was a collaboration between filmmaker Guillermo del Toro and Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima, and its cancellation was apparently a result of the much-publicized split between Kojima and Konami. Now that Kojima is leaving Konami, Del Toro has told IGN that he's still in touch with Kojima and they hope to work together again on something in the future. Silent Hills would have relied on psychological horror that messes with your head, so if they collaborate on something else, expect it to explore similar territory. Big stories to talk about today, and here to help me talk about them is my pal Marissa Roberto.
Goody.
What do you think, Silent Hills? Do you think that still has a pulse? Do you think we're going to see? I mean, obviously, they want to work together.
For sure. This news is terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying.
PT was terrifying.
Seriously.
Yes, I know.
But even having Guillermo del Toro working on, I just trust his sensibility and I trust his instinct, especially when it comes to fear and creating fear in audiences.
Yeah.
I think he's very good at that. He knows exactly what he's doing.
And Kojima is unbelievable at sort of interweaving narrative and gameplay, and he really gets the idea of giving us just enough kind of twitch factor and enough things to kind of play with and touch and interact with. You mesh the psychological kind of terror that Del Toro can create in the worlds that he creates with that great sense of vision. Yeah, I'm excited about this collaboration. I was when Silent Hills was happening, and it really bummed me out to hear that they canceled it.
Well, looks like it might happen now, Victor Lucas.
So you're saying that you're putting your hand up, you want to review that when that comes out? You want to review that game?
Absolutely not. That'll be you
we'll make that happen.
and Scott.
Okay, well now in the superhero business, we've got X-Men and the Fantastic Four rumored to be crossing over a little bit. Now this is not a big shock or a surprise if you've been paying attention to what Fox is doing with the Marvel brands that they have.
Yes, definitely. But that just seems like a lot of characters to be managing on screen. Like they did it in Days of Future Past. That's great.
Yeah.
But anymore, and it's like it was already almost too much.
They're looking at the Avengers and they're looking at the growing sort of collection, the phase 2s and 3s and 4s that they've got planned, and they want some of that pie, you know.
Sure, of course.
The big question mark is, of course, is the Fantastic Four movie going to be any good? Because the last X-Men movies have been phenomenal.
I don't know.
And we still want to see a Fantastic Wolverine movie, although it sounds like he's going to be phased out, which is, I don't know how they do this without Wolverine. How are they going to do this?
You can't do anything X-Men without Wolverine.
And without Hugh Jackman.
Without Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It can't happen. I don't even want to take part in any of that.
I'm excited for this idea. And, you know, Bryan Singer sort of being in the mix, the guy has got a touch with this stuff.
Yeah,
he really knows what he's doing with, with these characters and these properties. Yeah, fingers crossed.
We'll find out.
Fingers crossed. All right. Well, right now we've got to kick it over to our buddy Jose, who did some exploring through the independent games that Xbox has got coming up.
If it's one thing my mom taught me when I was growing up, it's bros before foes. We are talking about Super Dungeon Bros. First off, probably the greatest name I've ever heard in a video game. What is going to make this the best bro-tastic game I've ever played?
It's going to be about co-op. It's a co-op 4-player action RPG brawler. The fun of Castle Crashers, Gauntlet, even old school games like the Simpsons arcade game, get that co-op action.
I mean, I know you're trying to collect the loot and trying to maybe steal it from each other, but is there going to be some cooperation between these bros? Can I do something together with my bros that might make it super bro awesomeness?
Oh yeah, we'll have kind of co-op attacks. We'll have bro supers where all 4 bros can combine into a bro-nado. That's a whirlwind of hack and slash action.
He said bro-nado. Sharknado is a thing of the past. I want to be a part of the bro-nado movie. When that thing happens, hopefully the Super Dungeon Bros will be involved. Because, I mean, what's more than, 4 bros fighting for the right to party? Super Dungeon Bros.
I shouldn't have gone out that night. It was so damn cold.
We're talking about this war of mine. Tell me about bringing this game to life and putting civilians in this situation where they have to deal with the war around them.
The entire idea started actually roughly 2 years ago. Just a game about civilians in the war. That means it was heavily inspired by reality, from Siege of Sarajevo, from Siege of Monrovia, from conflicts in Kosovo, from actually conflicts in Warsaw, and we are from Warsaw, so everybody in the team has a grandmother or grandfather who remember war. And we have a living memory of it. So we took inspiration from it, from family stories, and created the entire experience based on it.
Are you ready to explore the Outer Wilds? I know I am. That's why I'm here to find out more about Outer Wilds. Tell me a little bit about this game and how you guys are making exploration that much more exciting than it's ever been before.
So Outer Wilds is a space exploration game that mixes camping and backpacking with NASA space travel. And it's a game where there are no explicit objectives, there are no missions, there are no quests. The only purpose of exploration is to learn more about this crazy world you're in. And we really want to reward players for being curious, get them to ask questions about the solar system, but then also make it so they can actually go out and find the answers. Like, how do we get players to be curious and be kind of self-directed without making it feel aimless?
We are talking about a memory of a broken dimension. How hard is it to find a broken dimension? Is that something easily attainable?
Well, in this game, it's not too hard, but yeah.
So tell me about the game. What is Memory of a Broken Dimension?
It starts as like an emulator of a computer system, but it ends up being a computer system that you shouldn't have downloaded, basically. So the player kind of falls down this crazy rabbit hole, and they end up in this kind of virtual world, and they're trying to make sense of it.
So how do you go about creating a world like that? Like a world that might be supernatural, might not be, could just be where you end up.
I have more of a level design background, so this project was my excuse to kind of just go crazy with level design and just try to just do a bunch of things that I couldn't really do in other games just because of the format of them.
Siegecraft is coming to Xbox One and Windows 10, which is kind of awesome. We're talking about Siegecraft Commander. Tell me about bringing this game to the consoles.
Okay, so we got into the ID at Xbox program with Microsoft, and it's been Blowfish Studios' dream to always make console games. So we've brought this 3rd iteration of our game to the Xbox One.
What was it like to, to get the nod from ID at Xbox and hear that, yeah, we want you guys to come and bring your game over to consoles?
It was fantastic. In the original Siegecraft, it was all about flinging projectiles out of catapults and crossbows. And what we're doing here, we're doing the same thing, but we've made a casual RTS for the consoles, where the whole gameplay revolves around shooting projectiles and towers out of other towers, and that's all the gameplay is, and it works really well with the gamepad.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Hey, Jones, remember when you were a kid and you had those big blue buckets of Lego that you just dump out and make whatever you wanted with?
Nope, I didn't have those when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we played with rocks and sticks, just like every other kid in the neighborhood.
Oh, you know what? That wasn't in the documentary that Vic and I saw.
Rocks and sticks weren't in there?
No, it was just Lego.
This is a review from Vic and Marissa called Lego, a Brickumentary.
Half cow, half robot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a cowboy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Action.
One of the cool things about Comic-Con is you get to see movies sometimes that don't come out until a little bit later, and we saw one while we were here. It's a documentary about Lego. It's called Lego, a Brickumentary.
Surprise.
It was very, very interesting and loaded with all kinds of cool stories because Lego, as we know, kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest selling toys in the world.
I just started building again a couple years ago when my son was getting interested in building. Let's make it only two segments long.
They have a huge history that you learn about in this documentary, but not only are you learning about the history, you are learning about the love that people have for Lego. Now, we all have love for Lego. I have love for Lego, you have love for Lego. We all have our own personal backstories with Lego.
Are you an A-ful?
I am not well, okay, I am an A-ful, but the thing is I didn't know what these acronyms were, and I feel like the general public doesn't know what these acronyms are.
Well, you're an adult fan of Lego.
Yes, exactly. You're an adult fan of Lego, and then there's like different acronyms for each kid fan of Lego. So those are the easy ones that we can remember, but there's so many other ones just like you can't even wrap your mind around, and how they're just acronyms for everything that you learn at these brick cons or whatever it is that you go to.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of detail about the history of Lego and how the factories that Lego was originally built in all burnt down, which led to this modular
burnt
play.
down several times.
Yeah, they led to this modular play idea to come up with toys where people could just snap things together, and obviously they patented that, and that led to the success of the toy company, and they go into that, which is cool, and they framed it well, but it feels very commercial. It feels very much about rah-rah, Lego's doing great. But I think what's interesting about this doc is that they also talk about how Lego can help people and how it can help engender community and also a sense of discovery and a sense of expression. And those were really fascinating stories, because there are people in this documentary that are brilliant.
So we thought, like, if that's the truth, why don't we make this project an homage? So we nicknamed the project the Lego Towers and thought the best way to communicate it would be to build it out of Lego.
At one point, somebody says in the movie that it's a language that doesn't need any characters or anything, or it doesn't need to be described. Everybody has a common connection to this, and it has taken over all corners of the earth. Everybody has an appreciation and has built a Lego set at some point.
I think it's funny that we're getting all sentimental over a little piece of plastic. But that's really what it is here. There's this little brick, that has connected us all, pun intended.
It really has, and I think the thing that's amazing about it is that that's all that Lego is. It's not a company that is diversified, and obviously they have their licenses and all that stuff, but they're just a company that does one thing and does it well, and everybody gets it, and everybody has access to it.
This story is about a simple toy and how its unique properties ushered in a new era of creativity for a whole generation. Lego, 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 Lego.
So now we have artists like Nathan Sueya, who's prominently featured in here. We've got young filmmakers that are using Lego as their means of storytelling.
Shot-for-shot remakes of famous films.
But the question is, Victor Lucas, did you like the documentary? We love Lego.
I did, yes.
Did you like the documentary?
I really did. I think it was a little bit all over the place. I think that they, are trying to tackle a subject that is incredibly massive and incredibly global, and I think that's always dangerous.
And that's a very important word, global, because they do bounce around a lot to different countries, and they have to do it fairly quickly. Like, they do hang on to certain stories a little bit longer, and they let it linger, but the tie-in and the way they use the tie-in here, they're using Jason Bateman's voice.
I know. You recognize me, right?
In a Lego character.
It's a little cheesy.
And every time they went back to that Lego character, I was like, I'm not happy anymore.
Especially on the heels of the Lego movie, which handled that stuff with so much more ingenuity and so much more polish.
But we should say that they didn't use any computer graphics here. They used all stop motion Lego, which is a feat in itself.
Yep, and that's much more difficult, I think, with the budgets that they had.
For sure.
They had a lot less money to work with than the Lego movie.
There's heart there. I mean, seriously, you're hearing us list all the things that are in there. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Tons. And
there's so much stuff.
And I think the biggest thing is that this was obviously done with Lego's participation, but they also showcased a lot of stuff that really kind of underlines that Lego has gone beyond what the company could control. And that's kind of amazing. People are building their life around Lego in so many different ways, and Lego really has nothing to do with it other than they sell them bricks, which is kind of crazy.
They're just selling them bricks. So Victor Lucas, are these bricks enough to make a movie? Are there enough bricks in this movie for you to enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I'm going to give it an 8. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, that's a fair score. It's getting an 8 for me as well. Lego, a Brickumentary is in select theaters now, on demand and on iTunes, so plenty of ways to build those bricks.
And listen, we got to take a break, but when we come back, Vic and Marissa are going to the movies again. They're going to see Mission Impossible Rogue Nation after this.
You ready?
EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now.
mathematical, it is time for another Adventure Time game. This one's called Adventure Time Card Wars. This is based off of a real analog game, Card Wars, that you can actually play. But card games have been really popular in the App Store, so why not bring it into the App Store, Cartoon Network? And that's exactly what they did.
Let's see.
I got this game when it was free, so of course you know that means that I loved it that much more because I didn't have to pay anything. Now you do have to pay at least $6 to play this game. I can't say that it's worth it because it does get repetitive as you move forward. What you want to do when you start this game is place down your landscapes, and then you place creatures on top of those landscapes. Only the creatures that fit with those landscapes can be placed. Only one creature can be placed at a time, and you're facing off against your opponent. They might floop their cards. If they floop their cards, their characters up their own ante. You can do the same. It really does get repetitive as you move forward. There are different modes in this game as well that you can go into. There are in-app purchases, which I really don't like, especially if you're paying for the game. I got it for free, so I'm going to back off of the gas pedal on that one. I did like it, and of course, I love Adventure Time, but is it better than other card games in the App Store? No, unfortunately not. I'm giving Adventure Time Card Wars a 6 out of 10.
Okay, we're going to leave Adventure Time back there, but up ahead, Vic and Marissa, as promised, are going to the movies to see Tom Cruise, not in Risky Business 2, which I was hoping would be the name of this movie, but it's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Here's the review.
Reggie. Ethan, where are you? The Syndicate is real.
I always forget what a treat it is to see Tom Cruise in action on the big screen until I see Tom Cruise in action on the big screen, and he always reminds me. We were talking about Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, he is an agent that has gone rogue in this movie. Yep. Now, you've seen the other Mission Impossible movies with Scott.
Yes.
So I'm jumping in on this one.
Yep.
I've taken over.
Have you seen any of the Mission Impossible
This
movies?
is my first Mission Impossible
Amazing.
movie. Yeah.
Amazing. Let me just tell you that the other Mission Impossible movies aren't exactly like this one.
Oh.
This is a very, very special Mission Impossible movie because it's great.
Okay.
They did a great job bringing the core elements of this franchise and making a smart film. They made the Casino Royale of this franchise. So much down to the fact that Rebecca Ferguson, I think she just deserves all the accolades we can give because she's the femme fatale in this thing, and she's so much like Eva Green's character in Casino Royale, the Vesper Lynn from there. She's just so badass, and a complete match with Tom Cruise on screen, which was incredible.
Completely. You never feel like this girl's in trouble. You feel like she's the one doing the rescuing.
We've never met before, right? Follow me.
I felt so empowered watching this woman. I loved that. I also loved that there's so many people on screen that actually look their age. Although Tom Cruise is looking pretty good for his age.
Pretty good.
Right. He looks pretty great.
He's 53. There is probably no other human being on Earth that's that age that looks like that.
Right, but we don't have, you know, these young actresses and actors just in there to look good. We don't have any of that in this movie.
Yes, it's not
there's nothing
teen
fake.
Mission Impossible.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is real with real actors, and they're doing an amazing job. The way the story is stitched together is so interesting, and of course you're gonna have these amazing fight sequences. And I don't want to spoil too much, but there is an old-fashioned knife fight in this one.
Yeah, you know what? And that's something that really stood out for me. Christian McQuarrie is the director, and he's one of the writers involved on this. This guy's got a prolific and prestigious career in Hollywood, working on all kinds of terrific movies.
You ready?
What I was noticing with these action stunt pieces and set pieces, which are all perfect for the trailers, they didn't feel like these big scenes that just sort of stick out. You know that tons and tons of work went into it. You know that Tom Cruise did the stunts. You know that he hung out of an airplane. You know that he's racing down the road on a motorcycle. But it feels kind of like this organic thrill ride through the whole movie. It's because the movie is so well crafted and smart.
Yeah, where one scene really led into another quite perfectly. It all made sense. Although, I mean, there were some moments where I was like, okay, like how on earth could they have known that? And how could they have been here at that exact time?
Yeah.
Of course, there are moments like that.
You have your seatbelt on? You asking me that now?
I also want people to go see this movie because the last Tom Cruise movie that you and I went to see that was really good.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow, yeah.
People didn't go and see, and that was a really great movie. And I feel like people need to go and support this man. He does amazing work.
Oh, he's working so hard.
He's working so hard.
The whole crew is, the whole cast, everything. This is a beautiful looking movie. It really moves. The music's amazing.
Of course.
It's fantastic. You're gonna have a great time. What are you gonna give Mission Impossible Rogue Nation?
It gets a 9.
It gets a 9 for me too.
Tom Cruise and his amazing body are in theaters now. And listen, up next, we've got the Twitter question of the day after this.
Welcome back to the Electric Playground. It's time for our Twitter question of the day. This one's from Dennis Lateric at BiggsLats. That's a good one. Cheaters really take the fun out of playing online. Do you think a company like Activision can ever stop the cheaters? What do you think, my friend?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know how that could even happen. It's just, I'm sure they've got some kind of system in place where they're trying to come up with something.
You got to report them.
But that's the thing, you have to report them. But
It's all up to us. It's like neighborhood watch in a way, right? And you're right, cheating sucks when you're playing games online. That's totally not acceptable.
I know, it's actually made me feel like I don't ever want to play online ever again because of all the cheating happening out there.
That's pretty crazy.
I know, you want everything to be fair and even, and then you go online and people have upped their antes and they've paid a lot of dough, and it's not. I hate that whole pay to win thing, and I'm seeing a lot of it too.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, I think it's up to the companies to hear from the consumers out there, the players, and then to retaliate when stuff like that starts to happen. Good question. If you've got a question, hit up our website, epn.tv, where you can also watch full episodes of the show.
We've got more coming for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including some new toys, right, Vic?
That's right, from NECA. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox.
Pretty excited about everything, but a few of the big, unbelievable reveals we have. A Halo Needler, full-size replica of the in-game weapon, so it lights up. The needles are motorized, they drop down row by row. It has LEDs, it has sound, and we're launching that in October, right around the time the new Halo game drops. We have a 2-foot-tall Incredible Hulk from Age of Ultron, which is insane. It's probably the biggest action figure ever done. Bigger than a toddler, really. It's like buying a kid as a toy. And you could probably put little kids' clothes on it even. It's insane. That thing's fully articulated, looking at a Christmas release on that.